This is the Doctor, President-elect of the High Council of Time Lords.
I am definitely a madman with a box.
Anyone for jelly, baby?
I'm the Doctor. I'm 904 years old. I'm from the planet Gallifrey in the constellation of Castabras.
Hey Who fans, and welcome to the Big Blue Box podcast. My name's Gary.
My name's Adam.
And welcome to episode 88.
Two fat ladies, 88.
88 miles per hour. Marty. Doc.
Great Scott. Is it two fat ladies? 88. I meant to look up the bingo numbers.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
Is it? And we'll go with that. It's probably very politically incorrect now. We'll probably get some complaints. But
we might get Ofcom on our backs now. Nice one, Adam.
Two little ducks, 22.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. So two
medium-sized ladies.
Two medium. I was trying to think of a more politically correct way of putting, yeah. Yes, but anyway, welcome to episode 88. Welcome to episode 88. We are your hosts, Gary and Adam. Welcome to the Big Blue Box podcast, bringing you Doctor Who news, reviews, commentaries, and all the waffle that goes with it. We got some big news today.
Yes, at last. After last week's barren landscape of no news, we've got the big one.
Yeah.
Well, a big one, yeah.
Probably the second biggest one in the sort of hierarchy of Doctor Who news that could possibly be presented.
Yeah, I should say so. Yeah.
So number one being a new Doctor, number two being the companion, and number three being new showrunner, I suppose.
Yeah.
Something, I guess. And then, yeah, just file away in whatever order is appropriate after that.
Pretty much, yeah.
So yes, new companion. We're going to speak about that in length. Well, we're going to speak about it a little bit.
Could be interesting because we've both gone to painstaking efforts to make sure that neither of us knows what the other one thinks, really. I've been really guarded about posting any of my thoughts online so that we can chat about it afresh.
Yes, afresh.
Yeah, so I have no idea what your thoughts of that little intro clip were, and I'm pretty sure you don't have any idea what my thoughts were, do you?
No, I don't at all. And this is the one thing, isn't it, about running a podcast about Doctor Who, because it would be quite boring if we just let it all out, you know, when these things happen. Because when it comes around to you guys listening to the podcast, you're like, well, I already know what you've said and what you feel and stuff like that. So
exactly, in
a way, it's kind of tricky to kind of talk about things online but not give too much away about how we're feeling.
Yeah, and it's the same with an episode. Like when we review a classic episode, I know a lot of the time we tend to sort of have are in agreement about how good it is or bad it is, but we never talk about it before.
Nope.
Like I never know or very rarely know what you think of an episode before we review it. So, and I like that because it's kind of going in fresh. I mean, it's a bit like when we did Remembrance, you know, and I obviously assumed you were going to love it. So it was great when you come back and you're like, nah, I didn't not so much the first time.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's always good.
Yeah.
Keeping it fresh.
Keeping it real.
That's it.
Rolling true.
Yeah.
Or whatever you cool kids say these days.
Yeah, I did talk to, well, no, we'll come on to the cool kid slang later on, won't we? Because it's fat though, isn't it?
In it. See what I'm saying? Right. What have you been up to, mate? Anything cool Doctor Who related?
Yes, I have.
Is this a yes as in like I'm going to kick off, or is it a yes?
Well, no, I I am going to kick off slightly. My day hasn't got off to a very good start because my Doctor Who magazine has just arrived. It's obviously recording this on Thursday. It comes out today. I subscribe to it, so it comes through the post. And I think it's fair to say that my issue this month, which has an absolutely cracking cover of the Genesis of the Daleks Target cover.
Oh, it's beautiful, doesn't it?
It's beautiful, except that my copy looks like it's been chewed by a dog.
Oh, no.
The postman has not only folded it in half,
What?
He's also shoved it through the letterbox at an angle so that it's actually bent and ripped down the spine. So I'm really peeved off because I'll put a picture up on Twitter later. It looks terrible. So I'm gutted. So I don't know whether to just go out and buy another copy or whether I can get a replacement. But it's such a shame because it's a really great cover as well. But my copy has arrived worse for wear, shall we say. It looks battered. So that's not got me off to a good start. But in other news, I had an absolutely fantastic Saturday. Last Saturday, we were talking about the record store day and those 2.2 records.
Ooh, yes. Okay.
That came out, The Dalek Invasion Earth and the Genesis of the Daleks vinyls. I used to work in a record shop years ago for a very, very long time, and they all closed down, sadly. They were like a little independent record shop.
Yeah.
And the manager of the Amersham branch decided he would take over that shop and see if he could keep it going. So we've sort of, not really kept in touch because this is years and years and years ago, but, we still know each other, obviously. I thought I'll just give Graham a ring, just see if he had, maybe he got a copy of them left on the shelf. This is obviously probably a week after Record Store Day.
Okay.
Anyway, it's like, 15 years have passed since we last sort of worked together and spoke. And like, is that brilliant thing of picking up the phone and just being like, it was yesterday. Graham, Adam, how are you? I said, yeah, I'm good, Graham. How's things, blah, blah, blah. Don't suppose you've got those two Doctor Who vinyls that came out for Record Store Day. He's like, I can't do Graham's voice. He's got one of those sort of very deep DJ voices. I have. As a matter of fact, he said, somebody hid them. And he said, obviously planning to come back and buy them later. And he said, while we were tidying up, I just found them both together behind Sheena Easton or something. And I was like, oh, wow. He said, I'll put them by for you. So I was just really chuffed to A, get them, B, get them from an actual record shop, not cool. From eBay, and C, to get them for the price they should be, because as you probably know, they're going for quite a lot more on eBay than they were originally. So I was absolutely chuffed last Saturday to finally get them, and they are really, really nice. The Genesis ones, like blue vinyl. The Dalek Invasion Earth soundtrack is a double yellow vinyl. Really, really good. Really, really nice. I've got a picture of me holding them in front of the record shop. So thanks to the guys in Amersham, the record store. I was one very happy Doctor Who fan last week. God,
man, that's awesome, because I really wanted those, but I couldn't get out to... I just couldn't get out to... like you say, a lot of record shops have closed down over the years, unfortunately. But it's weird, isn't it? Because vinyl is slowly making a comeback, isn't it? Have you seen... they've got vinyl displays in Sainsbury's now. They sell vinyl records in.
Yes, I saw it. Yeah,
and HMV are starting to stock more vinyl now. So it is making a bit of a comeback. But those really great little vinyl record shops, especially the independent ones, they just closed down, didn't they, years ago, because vinyl just disappeared for a while.
Well, there's very few left. Yeah. I mean, it was so nice they got that real sort of nostalgic feeling of walking in there. And Graham had bought all the sort of racks from the shops that we used to work in. So it was almost like stepping back in time, because I could see all the chart racks that we used to have in the shop when I worked there and stuff. And it was just, it was just brilliant just to go into a shop full of vinyl and all all the CDs, and he'd got DVDs. And I did see the vinyl rack in Sainsbury's when I went to get my Star Wars Blu-ray the other week, and I thought, wow, Sainsbury's is selling vinyl. What's going on? But Graham said that's how they've managed to keep going. He said the sort of burst in vinyl sales has really helped to to keep them going. So which is great.
That is
but
great.
I was just pleased to get them from a shop. I mean, it's when you're a collector, and you know what I'm like. I love to have these things, and very often, you have to resort to sort of getting them on eBay for a lot more than they should be. It was a really good feeling to actually support an independent shop and to get it from a real shop rather than handing the money over to some eBay seller, if you like.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, not that I'm going nothing wrong with eBay. I sell stuff on eBay, but you know what I mean. It just was a good feeling to get it from a real shop.
Of course, yeah. Vinyl record shop and comic book shops are two of the best.
Yes.
They've just got a certain feel. I'm not talking about the big chains like Forbidden Planet. I'm talking about the independent, comic book shops where they haven't even got proper shelves. They've just got like portable tables with plastic bins or cardboard boxes full of, there's something, a real charm about those type of places.
Yeah.
And I think it's more to do with the staff as well. Because typically the staff in those type of smaller places just know inside out what they're selling and the business through and through and stuff like that. And you can have a proper conversation with them.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love just wasting time just talking to staff in those sort of vinyl record shops and comic book shops. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, you click, don't you? That's the thing. If somebody's into the same thing as you like that, you do. Yeah, and it's really, like you said, it's really nice to just go in and have a half-hour waffle about some, completely random comic or record or whatever. And yeah, it is. It's nice. I mean, there aren't many comic shops left around near me. I don't know about you. We used to have a really good one. It's about 45 minutes drive away, but it was a great shop. It was just, you walked in, it was just wall to wall of those like white long cardboard boxes filled with comics. So you could just go in and, look through. And I remember picking up like a couple of the really old Doctor Who comics. I think they might have been US comics from like, years ago.
Yeah.
I would think they were probably 90s, 80s. I don't know. But yeah.
Good stuff. And you also finally got your Spearhead from Space steelbook, didn't you?
Yes, and unlike my Doctor Who magazine, it arrived in perfect condition.
Different postman that day.
Yeah, it must have been. But yeah, I was really chuffed with that. It's gorgeous, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
It's artwork one of my fave things. I think I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got yours the day before, didn't you? That's when we were recording the podcast, and I kept going out thinking, maybe the postman's late today. It might be here, but no, it arrived the day later. But yeah, it's a thing of beauty and no mistake.
It's great.
Yeah,
great stuff. Talking of that steelbook, I watched because the actual content on the disc and stuff is no different to the standard Blu-ray that they brought out a couple of years ago, but I still watched it, still stuck it on, gave it a watch, and it's such a shame that not more Classic Who wasn't filmed on proper film stock, so that it could be cleaned up, and because it looks so great in high def. The clean-up operation is great on it anyway, but just the how it looks on the screen, seeing a really old episode like that in colour in high def is just, I don't know. I know it's kind of cool to watch the old Doctor Who, in standard definition. It's got that nice old school feel to it, but it does have a certain look and feel that you can't really. I don't know. It's just something about Classic Who in high def in colour. It just looks amazing.
It does. It looks absolutely great. I agree with you. I wish there was more of it, because a lot of the Pertwee stuff, because it was scrapped. The sources that they've got for a lot of the Pertwee stuff, a lot of the colours bleed through a lot, and because I would love to, because there's a trailer, isn't there, on the Spearhead, and I've forgotten what the trailer's for. It's for a classic DVD, and even that, I remember thinking looked really good, just sharpened up. It might be for the Green Death or something like that. I can't remember what the trailer is. But yeah, even that, I thought, wow, that looks good enough. You should just put them on Blu-ray anyway. I'm sure there's more. I mean, I would love to see like the TV movie, for example, on Blu-ray. I don't know what that was shot in, but I'm sure they could sharpen it up enough. And
it's all money, mate.
It
all relies on somebody coughing up the money to do the cleanup and the restoration and that stuff. Oh yeah, but the movie would look great in high def. That would be.
Yeah, I mean, a steelbook of that would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Because you'll know this more than I do. But the TV movie to me looks like, Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah.
It looks like that kind of thing to me. Were they filmed around the same time? Or am I way off there? Because they look very similar in like the picture quality and stuff like that. It looks like that kind of era. Is it early 90s? When was it when the TV movie was out?
Was it 91?
Something like that. It was early 90s. I'm sure that was when The Next Generation was out.
Yeah, I know what you mean about that, actually. Yeah, it's got a similar sort of...
It's got that
look,
that typical American TV look to it. And all of those Star Trek Next Generation have been restored and released on Blu-ray and stuff, haven't they? Yeah. They look really good. Yeah. So maybe they could do the same, but it's all about the Mooney.
What I would love to see, and it would never happen. What I would love...
You're not going to do a George Lucas here, are you?
What?
You see what I would love to see. We're not talking about the movie anymore.
Yeah, no, we're talking about the TV movie. Yeah, what you mean the original Star Wars? Oh, I'd love to see that.
I thought you were going to say something like, in the TV movie, I'd love to see some updated effects. And
No, definitely not.
Good.
No. I always like them as they are. No, I never like it when they alter them. Don't even get me started on that, on the Star Wars alterations. No. I was going to say what I would love to see, but it would never happen. Is like a box set of the like steelbook of the TV movie with the soundtrack, because we both love the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's brilliant, and I know you can get it. I know it's out there. You can get hold of it easy enough, but I think only officially it was ever properly released in that giant box set, wasn't it? I don't think it's never been given a standalone release, is it? I don't think it might have. I'm not sure, but
I think it did. I think it did in the US at some point. Yeah, but we haven't had a. You wouldn't find it very easily at all. And it is. They've got a few tracks from that on the 50th anniversary box set.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, it would be cool to have a Blu-ray release with the soundtrack. Oh, that'd be amazing. Some new features, maybe.
That's what I would love to see. Yeah. I just had a look. Actually, 96. It was. 1996.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was in the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a clean up and a re-release would be superb.
But we can but dream. Yeah. So have you been up to much this week?
Well, yeah. After I was stuck on Spearhead, I was in a Pertwee vibe.
Oh yeah,
I love a bit of Pertwee sometimes. He's the man.
Were you sat there in your frilly shirt?
Yeah, calling everyone a nitwit. Yeah, so I was on a roll, so I thought, oh yeah, let's stick some more on. So I put on Inferno. It's just one of the best classic stories.
Brilliant. It's brilliant.
Not just for Pertwee, but in terms of like the classic era, it's just one of the best stories. It's got everything in there. It's like action. It's got really good script. The acting, the performances are really good. The effects are, but it's just so good. It's a really, I don't know what it is about Inferno. It's just a cracking watch from start to finish, and Pertwee's brilliant in it. So
it's one of my favourite stories actually. Inferno, especially one of the Pertwee ones. I must just quickly tell my little Inferno story then, as you've mentioned it.
Let's get comfortable. Everyone get comfortable for a minute. Come on.
The producer said, it also ties in with a record shop, funny enough, that I used to work in, and this is probably back in the 90s or whatever, but this old gentleman used to come in, and he was one of these lovely old gentlemen that, you get certain characters that everything you say to them, they reply with a joke. Yes. So you sort of, everything's, in other words, you never know what's real and what you're supposed to laugh at. So he was just a really nice old chap. But I never knew what was, whether he was winding me up or not, because he was just one of those sort of people.
Right. Anyway,
the guys I worked with also liked to wind me up a lot, and they used to say to me, he designed the Daleks, he did. And I'd be like, no, he didn't. Ray Cusack and Terry Nation designed the Dalek. Don't try that on. I know my stuff. Anyway, this guy used to come in, and sadly he passed away. And it wasn't until I was watching Inferno that I saw his picture on the wall. When they go into the alternative universe, there's like a black and white picture of this guy. I think he's got like a very thin moustache. I'm not quite sure.
Yes.
And that person is Jack Kine, who was part of the visual effects people back in the day. So it turned out, and I didn't realise till much later, until after Jack had sadly passed away, that actually that gentleman that used to come in and laugh and joke with me and sort of wind me up was actually involved with the Daleks after all. And I could not believe it the first time I saw him in Inferno. I was just like, oh, that's that man. He really was a Dalek designer. And
So you were mingling with
I was mingling with him the whole time.
With Who royalty, pretty much, and you didn't... Oh,
didn't even know. But I blame the guys I work with, because they really wound me up about it, so I was convinced that it was just, it was just a wind-up. Because in my head, I was like, Ray Cusack, Terry Nation, Daleks, yeah, I thought I knew it, but... So, yeah, that's my little Inferno record shop story. But Jack Kine, he was a really nice man, though.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, really good fun, really tall.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe I'm just really short, but I seem to remember him being quite tall.
Bit of both.
Yeah, always very smart as well. That's what I love about the sort of older generation. Always very smart.
Yep.
Suit, jacket. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. Jack Kine.
Nothing else from me, mate. I started work on those of you that have downloaded the wallpaper pack that we did. When was that? A couple of months ago now. A few months ago.
Yeah.
I started work on the classic Doctor's versions. So, yeah, Hartnell through to McGann.
Superb.
So a new wallpaper pack will be with you hopefully shortly.
Excellent.
Within
Who am
the
I going to
next
pick then?
few
Classic
weeks.
Doctors. I'll probably be the fourth.
The fourth.
I'll wait and see what you've come up with first, actually, but I'll probably go fourth.
Yeah, it'll probably be one of those. Well, I'm not putting this crap on my desktop.
No.
Yeah,
Actually, I've been meaning to ask you for ages. Have you added a TARDIS swirl to the Blue Box website, or has it always been there and I've only just noticed?
I have indeed.
Yeah,
That's last month, I believe.
spotted it. Yeah, I've been meaning to say that to you for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, just I was doing some updates to the website, making sure everything was like retina ready and all that jazz. And I thought let's jazz this up a little bit. This header, it's been the same for I think about a year now. So yes,
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, no, I just was looking at it the other day and I thought, I don't remember that TARDIS swirl by the writing. And then I thought, well, maybe it's always been there.
No.
Yeah, you've been tinkering.
Playing away.
I like it.
Sure. Right, let's land the TARDIS and let's do some news.
Okay.
First up, you remember the episode Heaven Sent?
Yes, good episode. Yeah.
It was pretty good, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's good. It's been nominated for an award.
Oh, okay.
It's been nominated for a Hugo Award.
Ooh, that's quite prestigious.
It is
I can never say that word.
prestigious.
Prestigious.
Yeah.
Prestigious, yeah.
Those of you who don't know what the Hugo Awards are, they're an annual thing. And it's basically like the cream of the crop in the world of sci-fi. They are voted for by the members of the World Science Fiction Convention.
Ooh.
So these chaps kind of know their sci-fi
Yeah.
inside out sort of thing. And it is quite prestigious, actually, to get voted for a Hugo. So the episode Heaven Sent, written by the Moth, has been nominated.
It was a good one, that, isn't it? Because I often get confused with the titles, Heaven Sent, Hell Bent. You know, when people mention them, I have to try and think which one was which, because one was very good and one was not so good. But this was the good one, wasn't it? Where it's just a standalone with Capaldi trapped in the confession dial.
Yes.
With the thingy. What was the thingy called that was in the blanket with the claw?
The claw that was chasing him. Oh, that was the blankety thingy.
The blanket claw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good episode, that. So I'd love to see it win, obviously. Just looking to see what it's up against.
Show called Grimm.
Don't know that one, do you?
Yes.
You do? Any
Yeah.
good?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty good.
Jessica Jones, I've heard of that. That's got your mate in it, hasn't it? David Tennant.
My mate.
Is he in that one? Jessica
He is in
Jones?
that one, yes.
Yeah,
That's very, very good. That's a Marvel thing. That's on Netflix.
Yeah.
That's really good. My Little Pony.
Oh, well, there's a
Friendship is
curveball.
Magic. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. What else?
Supernatural?
Yeah.
What's that? I've heard of that.
Our good friend, Mr. Andy Frankham-Allen. If you want to know anything about Supernatural, ask him.
Oh, really? He's into that, is he?
He loves it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, so five nominations in that category. Best Dramatic Presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'd be really good, actually, because the Hugo Awards are pretty good for, and it's bang on as well. Doctor Who falls smack bang in the middle of this category, so it's not sort of fudged in like some weird drama category like we have in like the what was it, the National
Television Awards? Yeah.
So it's not like shoehorned into a category which doesn't really suit it. This is made for Doctor Who's made for the Hugo Awards, and it's won some in the past as well. The Doctor's Wife, the Pandorica Opens and the Big Bang, The Waters of Mars. So they've all won an award. And last year we had Listen, that was nominated but didn't win.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just about to ask when we were last in the running. So yeah, we did have one in Series 9. That's interesting.
But it didn't win.
Well, Listen was a strange episode, wasn't it? I can imagine it's a very Marmite episode. Listen, I haven't watched it for a while. Might have to give that a rewatch. But I would say, Heaven. Which one is it? Heaven Sent.
Heaven Sent.
Yeah, I was getting confused. Yeah, I would say Heaven Sent was good. I think it was a pretty decent one actually, and nice to have a one-hander with Capaldi. So I'd like to see that join the others. Doctor's Wife. Yeah, that always gets done.
Yeah.
Waters of Mars is one of my favourites. I'm glad to see that got a Hugo.
Amazing. Yeah. But it's not until the end of August, so a little way away yet until we find out who's going to win that. But yeah, we shall let you know.
Yes. Okay. Good luck with that one, Moffat. All right. In other news, these Target books that are getting reissued. I think they're doing about 6 or 7 of them. What have we got? Like Genesis of the Daleks, the Dinosaur Invasion, Battlefield, the Zarbi.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few coming out, and they're those nice retro. They've got like the original covers, but slightly different style. They look really, really nice. Well, there's going to be an exhibition put on to sort of tie in with this.
Yeah.
At the Cartoon Museum in London.
Where was that?
Is it Holborn? Because I have been there. It was years ago that I went. It was for a Doctor Who thing as well. They did a little exhibition. I popped along to it. It's a very tiny little museum, but a really cool little place to go.
Right.
Is it Holborn? I'm trying to think where. I know it was close to Oxford Street, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it is, but it's Little Russell Street, wherever that is in London. Yeah.
It's not a million miles from our old friends at Forbidden Planet, so it's down that end of Oxford Street and a little bit further on.
Yeah, Tottenham Court Road is the nearest tube, so it's around there somewhere.
Yeah, cracking little museum. So they're doing this exhibition of some of the Target covers, and I'm sure a lot of you out there know that the Target covers are fantastic. They're really, really nice. Thing to have an exhibition of. So I'm definitely going to get to this. How long does it run for?
Not long. It's the end of today as we're recording, the 28th of April, and it's only until the 11th of May.
Oh wow, that isn't long, is it?
So was that 2 weeks? A week and a bit?
Oh no. So I really, really want to go to this. But that's not a big window to get to London. But I would recommend. I mean, if any of you can get to it, I'd recommend just popping along because as I say, small little place, very intimate, very nice. They had a little shop. We do love a little shop.
We do.
The last time I went was a few years ago now. They did have some Target novel books there, which I remember picking up for like £2 each or something.
Oh, cool.
They'll probably have a few little Doctor Who bits in that shop, I would think. If you can get along to it, I would go.
Absolutely. And we're not going to do a proper merch corner today because there's only one thing, and it ties in with this very nicely, and that is the David Howe and Tim Neal. They brought out a guidebook years and years ago, which was basically like a companion book to so you could find and collect all of the Target novels. This was like you're holding your hand through it all, so you could find out which stories were for each Doctor and which year they came out and which storyline and all that stuff. So they're going to update it and reissue it. And this is going to be released by Telos Publishing, and I think it's out. When is it out? I think it's out now.
I think I think they're going to have it at the exhibition.
I think it's today. Yeah, so it launches today, the 28th of April. So if you're listening to this, it came out. If you're listening to this on Friday, when this podcast goes out, it would have come out yesterday, and you can order it directly from Telos Publishing.
I've got the original of this.
You have? Oh, cool.
I have, and it is honestly, it's one of my favourite books that I own. It's brilliant. It in the back of it, it's got every single cover of every single Target book that they did. It's one of those books I just love to get out now and again and just flick through because it is full of loads of interesting stuff as well about the books.
It goes into the history, doesn't it, as well, about these stories and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it tells you all about the history, it tells you about how Target got started and all that and where they were and photos of the old offices and it's got alternative covers in there, ones that weren't used, and it's a brilliant book. I have to say I might even pick up the new edition of it because mine is treasured. I've managed to keep it in quite good condition, but I like the thought of having you know what I'm like. Yeah. I like the thought of having a new version of it with some extra stuff, and I really love this book. Yeah, I'm really glad they've reissued it.
Yeah, it's a definite pick up for me as well.
Oh yeah,
because I've started to pick up some of the old Target novels over the last few months, so this will be a good read about those. Forward by Terence Dix.
Yeah.
which is always good. And it's one of the larger books as well. It is out in hardback to begin with. And it's what's known as the large format. So it's quite a nice large size, to read through. And that will mean that all the colour photos or any black and white photos are in good quality large size as well.
That's why I'm thinking I might get it again, because
Yeah.
mine's not hardback. It's just a soft cover. So it'd be quite nice to have one to keep pristine, like the hardback new edition of it. But
Yeah.
it's a great book, guys. Really recommend it.
And this new version also covers audio releases.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Audio releases, and also a lot of the reprints that BBC Books have done over the last year or so. So it sounds like an awesome book. We'll stick a link to it in the show notes to Telos Publishing. And it's $24.99, which you'd expect from one of these large format paper hardback style books. But I would say it's probably worth that. Absolutely.
It might even be, I mean, if that's the retail, very often when they first come out, you might be able to pick up a bit cheaper than that anyway.
Yeah.
Possibly. But I know even if you're thinking, oh, that sounds a lot, trust me, it's a good one to have. Yeah. Yeah. But I said to you about going to this, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
So, although we've only got 2 weeks, if we can, I don't know, we might be able to fix a day we can pop along. I'd really like to do this.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But we'll see what happens. See if we can sneak out of work.
Yeah, see if we can throw a sickie
Yeah,
and
that's right.
nip down there. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, that's going to do it for standard news, I guess we should say. Let's move on to the big one.
Yeah.
So something that we've been talking about and rumours have been flying around for quite a few weeks now is talk of a new companion. And we knew it was coming. We knew that because the Moff had spoken about this way back even at the festival last November, when he said that, yes, there is going to be a new companion. So we know that Clara's definitely finally going. Then she finally went, and then she finally went. And we knew that a new companion was coming. And the Moff did say that it would be a character that we've never seen before. So, because back then there was even chat about somebody coming back, or, it could be, somebody even said that Rose was coming back at one point.
I heard of Shielder quite a lot. People were like, Shielder's coming back. Oh.
And all that stuff. Personally, I was hoping for Carol Ann Ford. That would have brought their house down, but there we go.
I thought you were waiting for Adric.
He come on, he has to go behind Carol Ann Ford.
Chameleon? No,
Possibly.
not so much.
Not so much. Anyway, fast forward in time, here we are. So the last couple of weeks have been a very big build up to this, because everyone's been saying, oh, it's going to be tomorrow, it's going to be tomorrow. And now we finally have it. So, welcome aboard the TARDIS and into the Doctor Who family is Pearl Mackie, who is going to be the character Bill. Pearl Mackie. You guys probably would have seen numerous photos and video clips of her with Peter Capaldi running away from a Dalek. And so we haven't spoken about this, have we, yet?
Not at all.
And like we told you guys right at the beginning, we've kind of hidden our feelings a little bit online from Twitter and so on, saving up for this conversation right now. So, buddy, off the bat, what do you reckon? Pearl Mackie.
Pearl Mackie. I look, I've got to be honest,
Right.
and I don't like to be down, but I thought the clip was dreadful. I really didn't like it. I really want to like her though.
Okay.
And I'm not going to judge her on this 2 minutes of introduction. But I just felt, it really didn't. I was actually quite annoyed after I finished watching it the first time, and I've watched it numerous times since. I even watched it just before we started to record because I desperately wanted to find. I don't want to be negative at all, but no, I'm sorry, mate. I just thought as an introduction, 2 minutes, I thought the dialogue was awful. I thought she was written to be, she just came across as really annoying. I like her though, and I've got a feeling, this is why I'm not going to judge her on this 2 minutes. I've got a feeling I'm going to grow to really like her. I really do think that. For a start, she's wearing a Prince t-shirt. Now, I'm the biggest Prince fan in the world, so that was a plus. But the clip just annoyed me, something chronic. As soon as I saw the Dalek rolling down the screen, I was like, oh, Daleks. And then she started gawping and overacting, and then she started saying things like, it's fat though, and in it, and it really my first time I watched it, really wound me up. I was just like, I'm sure they think they're being really trendy and down with the kids, but this is just not appealing to me. So I'm just going to say, welcome, Pearl. I want to love you. I want to like you. I want to welcome you to the Who universe. I'm sure we're going to become great friends. But for an introduction clip from the Moffat, and I'm putting this solely the blame at Moffat's feet,
right?
For because this is, you know, this is supposed to give us a little taster, a little tiny taster, like, you know, of what we can expect. And first impressions matter, you know. As I say, I'm not going to judge her by it, but first impressions were she was written as being really annoying, and it really annoyed me the way she spoke. And yeah, I was just really disappointed. I'm sorry. I have to be honest. And I really, really hate to be negative because I've been so looking forward to the new companion being announced. But I will grow to love you, Pearl. I know we're going to become friends. So I'm just going to say that. And I'm kind of just going to wash over this little 2-minute thing. So that's my thoughts, my honest thoughts. You know, I was tempted to come on and say, yeah, I like this, I like that. But I have to be honest. What about you?
You always have to be honest.
Yeah.
Right, so I really, really like her.
I knew you would.
I really, really like her because it's always good, in my opinion anyway, it's always good to have a feisty companion character to kind of go up against the Doctor. Don't get me wrong, I'm not too keen on these episodes where, and unfortunately, and again, like you, I have to lay the blame at Moffat's feet here, I'm not too keen on these episodes where we feel like the Doctor isn't in control and he's sort of playing second fiddle to the companion like we did with Clara quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm not keen on... What I mean is, I really like the relationship that we had with the 10th Doctor and Donna.
Yeah.
Where the dynamic was, the Doctor was still very much in control. He was the man with the plan and all that stuff, but we had a very feisty companion, somebody that didn't take any nonsense from him, stood up to him and all that stuff. So I can see some, like a mixture of different companions in Bill. And what do you think's the name, by the way, Bill?
Bill?
Yeah. It's kind of out there. Not the name that you would associate with a female companion, first off, but... When
it first came up, I was a bit like, Bill? I like it just because it's different. I like the fact they're just like, it's a bit of a curveball, isn't it? It's like, Bill?
Yeah, it's cool.
So I like it, but I don't know.
It's
Billy,
Bill? Yeah. So that's quite cool. And I like her. She's obviously got that sort of London girl, city girl feistiness to her, which I really like. And she is a London girl, isn't she? She's from Brixton, grown up in London. I think she studied in Bristol acting school. Yeah. And this is her first proper TV role. She's not done anything really substantial on TV before, but she has done loads of theatre work. So she's been at the West End for a few years now, and she's done various different plays and shows on the West End. So she's classically trained. You know, she's got that. You know, she's got the acting chops. She's got that sort of theatre pedigree behind her. She's got the bit of paper to say, "Yep, I'm an actress." So she's got all that stuff, which is good. I just think that. Well, to be honest with you, I was disappointed when it was announced, but not for the reason you think.
Okay.
I was disappointed when they announced it because I was hoping for a male companion.
Oh, right.
And I think I've mentioned this a few times recently where I just think that we've had the male Doctor, young female companion for too long now. Literally since it came back in 2005. And I know that we've had people like Mickey and Rory and those guys, but you know, they haven't been the main companion, you know. And it's, people might say, yeah, but they were companions. That's correct, but they weren't like, and I hate putting things in order, like I'm going to go a bit Colin Baker here. I don't want to put things in order and stuff like that, but Amy was very much the main companion and Rose was the main companion. So I just feel that now's a good time to change it up. You know, why wait for the new showrunner? Why wait for Chris Chibnall to come in and possibly, you know, potentially change things up? Why not do it now? So I was hoping for a male companion just to change the dynamic completely in the TARDIS. So I was disappointed, but not disappointed with Pearl Mackie, because I think she's going to be good.
Fair enough. I must admit, I have to agree with you there. I would have loved to have seen that I would have absolutely loved to have seen something that made me really surprised when they announced it, like literally like, yes, something fresh. I think she's got a good vibe about her. I will say that. I do. There's something, as I said, I think I'm going to like her because she's got something about her. But I just didn't like the clip itself. It's it's not her. I don't dislike her. I can't possibly, judge her on that. But I just didn't like the dialogue and the clip, and it felt to me very stale. And like you just said, it felt like nothing new there for me. Yeah,
in terms of the clip itself, I thought that was very safe.
Safe, yeah. Very, Daleks again.
Yeah, very safe and very. And the dialogue between the Doctor and Bill, I thought it was very expected. Like I fully expected them to say those things. I wasn't blown away by anything, and I was like, "Wow, this is going to be interesting." It's very much the classic old, Doctor, new female companion. There we go.
It felt familiar.
Yes, it felt too familiar. It felt like it was just we're just treading the same footsteps again and again and again. So I'm hoping that the Moff can, take this thing in a slightly different direction now, because the next thing's going to be the Crimbo special, right?
But is she going to be in that? Because it's saying she's confirmed for the 2017 series.
Yeah.
But we're assuming. I mean, I'm assuming as well that she's in the special. That'll be her introduction.
Yeah, she's in the Crimbo special. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the first one that we see with these two. I mean, she might not. I'm not sure if she's in it in the whole thing. I'm not sure how we get introduced, but she's definitely in it. I'm looking
forward to seeing how she gets introduced. To be fair, because obviously this kind of starts. I mean, I don't think this is from an episode. Do you? This is just a little throw-in thing. It's not.
Yeah.
Take it because a lot of the footage was reused, wasn't it? Like the Daleks was shooting was from Into the Dalek, wasn't it?
That's
so
right. Yep.
A lot of the footage in this is reused. So I'm assuming this is just a little standalone intro. It's not from an episode. So I am looking forward to seeing how the Doctor and Bill end up, traveling together. I am very much looking forward to that. I think what I am worried about is just I want the Moff to up his game for his last series. And I'm just worried that he's just going to play it by numbers. And I think that's what I mean when I say, Daleks again. And also you said about the dynamic already. That's what I worry about. It was just very much playing by numbers, everything we've seen before. And I want to see something. I need something fresh to keep me invested in the show, is what I'm saying.
Of course, yeah. I agree. So I think overall, not negative really, but still positive. And I've got that bug as well. Like we've got a new companion, so it's the start of a new adventure, all that stuff. So we're going to see it through. We're going to travel along with her and see all these new stuff. And so I've got that cool, that the Doctor Who bug, again, because it's, somebody new to travel with and, a whole raft of stories, ready to come along. But like you, I'm just hoping that Moff, just goes out with a bang, really. I'm not so much the RTD where he went all soppy at the end, but which nothing wrong with that. That was very cool, but just something different to what we've seen before. I think everybody has just grown a little bit tired of the whole Doctor and Clara thing. I think it was just dragged out for so long.
Yeah.
And I think now's the time. Like I said, don't wait for Chibbers to come along and for him to be the one to change it up. So possibly putting a new Doctor in. We'll speak about that at some point, I suppose, if Capaldi's going to stay on or not. So don't wait for him to come along and do all the changes and stuff like we had when Tennant left and Russell left and all that lot. Do it now. Write some cool stuff now. Go out with, change the direction and go out with a bang.
Yeah. I think we might be in for some surprises as well. In terms of it wouldn't surprise me if they introduced a third companion halfway through or so. I can see that happening. This is what I'm hoping. I'm just hope there's a few surprises because Stephen Moffat's got to keep this when this comes back in 2007. It's not like a relaunch, but we will have had a long break.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's then going to be handing over to Chris Chibnall. So he's got to keep the quality up, and he's got to keep those viewers, interested in the show.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, he's handing it. He like you said, he needs to go out on a bang. He doesn't want to be handing over a show that's dying on its arse. He needs the show to be strong.
Yeah.
To hand it over, really, and that's what I'd like to see. Some, some surprises from the Moff. Like we were just talking about Heaven Sent. Now that was a strong episode from the Moff, and that was towards the end of the series. So and let's see a bit more of that. Let's see a bit more of him taking a few more risks, and
yes,
keeping us on our toes a bit would be good. I think
because we know that the Moff can write some cracking stories.
Absolutely,
some of the best, in fact. We know that he's got that ability to write just some of the best Who stories. But we also know that he can not do, what's best for the show sometimes.
I think sometimes, I think he sometimes, I don't want to use the word lazy, but I think sometimes he just kind of, don't know, maybe he's just got too much on his plate. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it just feels like he just signs off a script and that'll do attitude. I don't know. That's probably not the case, but it feels like that sometimes.
Yeah. So anyways, welcome Pearl Mackie as Bill.
Yeah.
We
know she listens, so we always say that. No, I'm definitely welcome to the Who family. As I said, I don't take my negativity towards the clip towards her because I'm very excited to see these guys in action. Yeah,
of course. So that's going to do for news, companion news, all that jazz. The review story this week.
Reviews, yes. Moisturise me.
So, Mox of Balhoun. What are we reviewing this week?
This week, it's the end of the world, I'm afraid.
Welcome to the end of the world.
Earth death is scheduled for 1539.
Who the hell are you? Oh, I'm the Doctor. This is Rose Tyler. She's my +1. Is that all right? That's not supposed to happen.
Representing the forest of Cheam, we have Trees, the Mox of Balhoun, the Face of Bo, the Last Human, the Lady, Cassandra O'Brien.
Oh, now, don't stare. Look in my
Heat levels rising. Heat levels rising.
Oh, Jade.
Yeah.
Oh, they could have been so happy together as well.
I know. The end of the world.
Burnt.
Yeah, the end of the world. Episode 2.
Yes.
From series 1.
I actually think quite an important episode, actually, just while you're saying about it being episode 2, because
very important.
This had to carry the audience on. A lot of new people tuned in to watch Rose. Yes. This had to keep them. Yeah, so quite an important one, really.
Absolutely, mate. So 2nd of April, 2005.
Oh, wow.
Written by Russell T. and directed by Euros Lyn, who directed quite a few from that era.
Yeah, yeah. It's a name. As soon as it popped up, it's kind of one that sticks in your head. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, you're absolutely right. This one really needed to deliver because, as far as most people are concerned, I know that you and I are concerned, Rose is a fantastic episode.
Yeah, it's a good one to bring the show back, I think. Yeah,
yes.
And to get new people watching. Yeah.
So this one really needed to carry that momentum and, get people glued, so they would think, wow, last week, the brand new comeback was brilliant. This one's just as good. Can't wait for episode 3. You needed to be that. You need to have that momentum, really.
Yeah.
And so the end of the world. This was the Doctor takes Rose to this space station, doesn't he? Called Platform 1. And it's set in 5.5/Apple/26, which equates to 5 billion years.
Right.
From where we were in 2005, I assume. And the Earth is about to be engulfed by the sun. The sun finally explodes, doesn't it, and engulfs the Earth. And some very rich people have bought these kind of first-class tickets aboard the space station to witness it. So we have all these different aliens turn up, and including the last human being, Lady Cassandra O'Brien, who is now excuse me,
a bitchy trampoline.
Yeah, so some
Rose
skin.
calls her.
Yeah, skin stretched over some climbing apparatus. Anyways, when the Doctor arrives there with Rose, something is afoot, as it always is in Doctor Who. And yes, I'm not going to say any more.
Okay.
What did you think to it?
Well, this might surprise you, but I actually really like this story, and I always have.
Yeah.
I liked it from the first watch, and I enjoyed it rewatching it again the other night. I don't think it does the job it's supposed to. Like you said, I don't think it's a strong second episode in terms of what it should have been. But personally, I've always liked it. Yeah, I think there's some really, really nice moments in this. But yeah, I don't know. I know it's not perfect, and I think it perhaps should have been a stronger adventure for the first time that the Doctor and Rose go traveling together. But yeah, no, I like it.
You like it?
I do.
Cool.
What about you?
I like it.
Oh dear. I thought you were going to say you didn't like it.
I like it.
Oh, good.
I think it's going to be another one of those mirrored points of view from you and I, because I kind of feel the same. Where I don't think it's the strongest story, and it's certainly not the best story from that series, by a long shot. But I still think it's got a certain enjoyment factor to it, where it's like we say, it's the very first proper adventure for the Doctor and Rose after she went running down the street in slow motion to join the Doctor at the end of Rose. So it's the first one where they're out and about, and it's a pretty good story. It's pretty good. It's got like a whodunit aspect for a little while, because the space station is being sabotaged, isn't it?
They're sort of being picked off, aren't they, one by one?
The aliens are being, so the whole thing has been sabotaged, and we get the reveal fairly early on, but there's quite a good element of like a whodunit, who's behind, because very visually we get these aliens who look very sinister, like assassin type aliens, don't we? So
is it repeat what are they called? The appearance of the repeated meme.
The meme, yeah.
Yeah, and I like that.
Yeah, they look pretty good. So they look quite sinister, so you immediately lay the blame at their feet. But it turns out it's Lady Cassandra, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so it's got like a Cluedo aspect to it for a little while. And then it's got some good action in it. The effects are pretty good.
They're not bad.
They're not bad. They don't stand up amazingly today, but at the time they were pretty good. And then we have Chris Eccleston, obviously, who is rocking and rolling in the role of the Doctor, which is good. So it does have an enjoyment factor. I think, though, a lot of people, I think it just doesn't quite reach up to that bar that you would say it's like an amazing Eccleston story, but it's not far off.
It does. I think you're right. It kind of, I don't know if you agree, but I think quite often gets forgotten about this one, because I think there are stories that are stronger in this series. So this one sort of tends to sort of get a little bit overlooked. I mean, I can't quite pinpoint why it doesn't quite reach that level, because I do think there's some great stuff going on in it. But it's not, it just sort of kind of is just slightly under par, I think. But there's some great bits in it. I mean, the storyline is pretty simple, isn't it? It's a very sort of easy watch. It's one of those episodes, very much an easy watch. But I think what really brings it up a notch is the performances in it. Like, the cast are pretty good. They all seem to be taking it quite seriously. I have to say, I think Christopher Eccleston and Billy are excellent in this, considering it's the second story. I don't know where it was filmed in the run, but they seem to be both really gelling really well. Billy's acting really good. Eccleston's acting really good. I mean, sometimes he does the sort of gurning, smiling a bit too over the top, but in this, I think he's plays it really nicely between sort of the serious and comedy Doctor, and he's kind of enjoying himself at the beginning.
The little dance,
little dance. What you're doing, moisturise me, but I think he's really on good form in this. Yeah, considering it's only a second episode. I do remember I watched it when it first aired, and the bit that really this is a story that really sold Chris as the Doctor to me. Right, is that scene when he's walking through the underground tunnel with all the wires with Jade, and then she sort of puts her hand on his arm and says, "I know who you are," and there's just this shot of Chris, and he's almost motionless, and you just see this one tear roll down his face. And I just remember thinking, this guy, he's a good actor, this Chris Eccleston, because I hadn't really seen him in anything before. But he really sold himself to me as the Doctor in this episode. I really, just that scene in particular sticks in my head. I remember thinking, oh, wow, this guy's good. I like him.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. He really did, because he was really good in Rose, wasn't he? Considering that was his first story.
Yeah,
he was great
in Rose.
Yeah, and in this one, there's no down step. He doesn't, take a step back or take his foot off the gas. He's, into it, just as much as he was from the first one. So, yeah,
the energy levels are there, and he seems to be, like I think you just said, rocking and rolling. He seems to just be. He seems like you said about the Doctor being in control. He seems in control in this. I love that. He just seems to be, when there's danger, he kind of loves it.
Yeah,
doesn't he? So, he almost thrives on it. And I think he does a nice job of sort of showing that he's slightly alien. I'm trying to think what the scene was. There's a bit where he doesn't get why Rose is upset or something. So he's sort of portraying the alien side of the Doctor nicely in this. He's doing the humour quite nicely. And he does the serious at the end really nicely as well. The bit with Jade. I absolutely love the bit with the big fans when he's just closing his eyes and walking through them, and the music. I just, it's such a simple thing, but I just love that whole bit. I just think Chris is really, really good in it, considering this is his second story.
Yeah, and he does play the alien aspect quite well. He's completely unfazed or unemotional about it, about the Earth ending, where Rose, understandably, is, and
maybe that's it. Because I remember thinking, well, why first adventure? Where is he going to take her? And he takes her to see her home planet being destroyed. It's an odd choice for a first date.
Yeah, and we do get a little bit of Doctor Who lore thrown in there as well, don't we? We get the Doctor telling Rose about he's the last of his people from Gallifrey and stuff like that. So, and then we have the mention about Bad Wolf quite early on. So it does include a couple of cool little bits as well. So that's good. So, okay, well, let's talk about some cast members then.
Yeah.
Let's go through, because there is that roll call, isn't there, when the guy's announcing all the different aliens coming through. What did you think to the trees? Because one of the trees has a significant role.
One of the trees?
Is it one of the
Oh, Jade.
Jade, yeah, she has quite a significant role.
Yeah, I love Jade.
Yeah, she's the actress who plays her as well, Jabe. She's very, very good. Did you think?
Oh, is it Jabe? I thought it was Jade. Yeah, it's Jabe, isn't it? Sorry,
Jabe with a B. Yeah, she's really good. Did you think her portrayal of that was really sincere and really?
Yeah,
I don't know. There was something about her performance. I was really quite sad.
Yeah,
when she sacrificed,
when she gets burnt up.
When she gets burnt up, yeah. I thought I was actually quite sad at that.
Yeah, I mean, I think considering I thought she was in it more. Watching it again the other day, I realised she's not in it that much, but you really warm to her quite instantly. I think she's sort of, I don't know, she's got a real charm about her. Yeah. I just really like her.
Because she flirts a little bit with the Doctor, doesn't she? She has a bit of a flirty moment. And
she's got that little device, so she takes a sneaky snap of him. And I really like Jabe.
Yeah, she's very cool. And she has this sort of wisdom about her. Do you know what I mean? Like she comes across as a very old character, but she doesn't look very old. But she seems to have a lot of wisdom, and she knows about the universe and stuff like that. And she's quite funny as well. Like those little flirty moments with the Doctor's pretty good. But I just found it quite sad when she gets burnt up. It's just a bit, because she's quite a good character.
Yeah, and also I suppose it's a kind of testament to her nice little performance that you actually care when she dies, because she isn't in it very much. So, like you said, it is quite. I think it's because you get that connection between her and the Doctor, kind of from the get go. So when she does perish, and the Doctor's clearly steaming, angry, because he kind of just looks at the floor. And I like the fact you don't see. He's just looking at the burnt remains or whatever, but it's just his face. It's it's really good. But really nice performance from Yasmin Bannerman, her name is. Yeah. Bannerman. I didn't know that. Really nice little performance from her.
Yeah, and one of those typical RTD names as well from where she's from. The Forest of Cheam.
Cheam, yeah.
That's a Russell T Davies name, isn't it? If you've ever heard one.
Yeah.
Poosh, Cheam. All that stuff. What do you think to old Bluey?
Oh, Yeah, the Mox of Balhoun. You thinking of me, were you, when he was wheeled out?
I was, yeah. I'm only kidding, mate. I'm only kidding.
I always think the voice doesn't go with the look, but I like the style of him. Does he actually die in it? I'm never quite sure. Or is he just simmering with smoke in it? Because he doesn't look too good at the end of it. He looks like he's been a bit overcooked.
Yes.
Never quite sure if he survives or not.
I don't think he does,
No, I've got a feeling he gets cooked.
Yeah, crispy
Balhoun. But he's a nice character, isn't he? Again, not in it very much, but he's a good little character to throw in there, yeah.
And what do you think to the other blue character, the steward?
He reminds me of C-3PO.
Really?
He's sort of in his manner, where he,
okay.
What are you doing in here?
Yeah. Oh, right, okay. Like a butler kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, Steward's all right. He's one of those that plays the sort of pompous but sort of still likable. Because when he dies, you sort of think, oh dear. But you kind of, in a way, think he's a bit annoying. So not that he deserves it. But I think, I think he's all right, the Steward. I have to say, yeah, he's... I think he fits nicely in with the rest of the cast. I think all the cast kind of gel quite well, if you know what I mean. He's just another little side character that gets knocked off, but you kind of feel a bit sorry for him when he does. I have to say, he really should have looked into his security, because that little spider creature only presses one button on his keyboard and the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
He should have looked at, it's very, very easy to close that.
His password was probably password. Anyway, wasn't it? Or 123 or
password 123
or something like that.
Yeah, he gets easily knocked off.
Yeah.
But he's all right, the Steward.
The little spiders look pretty good.
They do, don't they?
They're like the movement and stuff.
The effect isn't too bad, I don't think.
It's okay.
Actually.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah, they not too bad. I always think they don't quite match up. Like when we get to see the model of it, like when the Doctor's holding it, they look sort of darker. I don't know. They never quite look right to be.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw that, but I like them. Very simple design, just with the eye and all that, and whatever. I do feel sorry for that. Who's the lady who gets pulled into the vent?
That's one of the service workers, isn't it? What's her name?
Because here's a character that's only got like a few minutes on screen, but is really nice and likable and gives a really nice performance. And she's one of these sort of extras that's been brought in, and rather than just giving a half-hearted performance, she's really good.
Yeah, she's good.
I have permission to talk, and I love her little character. I feel really sorry.
I think her name's Raffalo.
Raffalo, yeah.
Is that right?
That is her, yeah. Because I've written here, poor Raffalo.
Yeah, she gets dragged down into the
vent, and you're like, oh no, she was really sweet.
A lot of death in this one.
A lot of death,
isn't there?
Yeah. In fact, so the Steward gets picked off. Moxa Balhoun gets it. Raffalo gets it.
Steward gets it.
Steward gets it. So there's a few get it, and Rose nearly gets it. I mean that when that sun shield's going down, she's.
Oh yeah, when the shield's slowly coming down, and she's like trying to edge her way out of the beam, like the sun's rays coming through.
Yeah,
that was
gets it.
Yeah, that was
because just when he's managed to reverse it, and she's like, phew. No, it's coming back down. Oh no!
Yeah, we had that classic pantomime bit of TV writing. We just needed a monster behind her at the same time, so everybody could yell, "It's behind you!"
Yeah.
And we had a little a voice cameo from Nick Briggs, didn't we?
Oh, what was that?
He plays he plays one of the alien. What are they called? One of the alien voices is Nicholas Briggs. What are they called?
Don't know. I didn't realise he did a voice.
Can't remember. Yeah, old Nick Briggs.
What do they look like? It's not one of those ones that's got a nest as a face, is it?
I honestly can't remember, but I know that he's in there somewhere, like old Briggs. He does. He doesn't just play the Dalek. He does a few little things here and there.
Oh, right. That's going to bug me now. So I'm on Wiki, but I can't see him on there. But yeah, let's not forget the big guy.
The face of Bo.
Face of Bo. First time we get to meet the big old face.
He's a big face.
Oh, and he looks so sad. And his little... he's all steamed up at the end.
Yeah.
Poor old Bo.
He doesn't look great, does he?
No.
Clearly doesn't get out much.
Does he say anything in this? I've forgotten. I don't think he does he? Kind of gets wheeled out, and I think he might groan a little. Does he have a chat with the Doctor?
I don't think he does in this one, because we have to wait until Tennant comes along before he has a chat with...
In New Earth.
New Earth, yeah. And
That's right.
am I right in thinking that the face of Bo, isn't that Captain Jack?
Well, that was a line thrown in, wasn't it, by Russell? And I love him. I love it that there is this ridiculous possibility that Jack could end up as the face of Bo.
Because he is immortal, isn't he?
He's immortal, yeah.
So he just, yeah. So there is that theory, isn't there?
Yeah, I kind of like it. And it's one of those things I never, ever want it to be answered. I just like the fact it's out there. You make up your own mind.
Yes.
Is he?
Yeah. That was thrown out, wasn't it, by RTD? And it does make you think about it. And
what's the story? Is it Utopia or something? No, not Utopia. Which one is it? It's when they're chatting on Cardiff Bay, isn't it? And Jack kind of says, "Yeah, some people used to call me the face of Bo."
That's right. Yep.
You're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, because you immediately jump on it. You're like, "Oh, okay." And it does make you think about it longer than you should do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's quite cool that it could be Captain Jack.
I love Bo though. Just the style of him, the design of him, because he's just a cool character that was brought in the new series. And even though is he only in 2? He's in this one, New Earth, where he sadly smashes Tardis.
Yeah, I think
is he in any other?
No, I think it's just the 2.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Or is it? No, hang on. No. It's the Gridlock, isn't it? Sorry, it's Gridlock where he dies, isn't it?
No. Is it Gridlock?
I've completely been a while.
No, he dies.
Yeah, it's Gridlock. Yeah, because we shall meet for the 3rd time and the last time. Yes, it's Gridlock where he finally perishes. I think. Oh god, people will be screaming at the screen again, telling us I've got it all wrong. But yeah, I think it's Gridlock. Let's go with that.
Or is it? Hold on. The end of the world
is when he says you'll meet for the 3rd time.
Yes, it is Gridlock. Yeah.
Is it
Gridlock? Yeah.
My Who history is intact.
Yes, because he says to the Doctor, "You are not alone."
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you are not alone.
Yeah. So the face of Bo, I quite like the design of that character and so on. The only thing that I just wish they would have made the features, and when he's talking, like the mouth movements and so on, they're so slow and laboured. I mean, I'm not sure if that's intentional by design because he's so old, but it's just very difficult to match his speech because the parts in the model move so slowly and stuff. So
yeah.
But no, he's cool, old Bo.
Yeah, and I like the fact he's like one of these characters that sort of plays quite an important part in the background of stories. So like that whole thing about you are not alone. Yeah, you said he throws that in there, so he just pops up to give us these very important little bits, and then either goes off or dies. Yeah.
Okay. Lady Cassandra.
Yeah. Zoe Wanamaker.
Yeah.
Well, I like her a lot more in this than I do in New Earth.
Good.
I think to be honest with you, I think she was perhaps a one-off villain. I think she should have probably only been in this, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I didn't really like her in... I don't really like New Earth much as an episode, so I think she works perfectly well in this. And I think Zoe Wanamaker's great casting for the role of this hideous character, and I mean hideous. I like the character. I mean, but she, Cassandra is a nasty piece of work, really, isn't she?
She is.
She's a nasty piece of skin. But I think Zoe Wanamaker's great as Cassandra, doing the voice.
The voice is great, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I really like the design as well. It's very gruesome. It's just a bit of skin, isn't it? Stretched out like a trampoline, exactly how people describe it.
Well, you know what I like, don't you? She's a brain, and there's a brain in a jar at the bottom
just at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's the brain. Yeah.
And she has to get moisturised constantly and stuff like that. And the effect was quite good because every now and then you'd see like little bits of blood shoot through these little veins and stuff. Yeah. So it was quite gruesome to think that it's just a piece of skin with a face on it, but it was done quite well.
Yeah, I think it stands. She stands up pretty good, actually. Is it now? I'll just go and shoot. I thought this was the one where they had the joke where Rose says, "Oh, so you mean she's talking out of her and then they cut it off. But I didn't hear it, so either I missed it, maybe I looked at my phone for a second or so, or is that in New Earth?
That's in New Earth.
Oh, okay, because I kept thinking, where's that cheeky line?
Yeah, that's
it's New Earth, is it? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So Zoe Wanamaker, she's pretty good. I like her voice in it and so on. And she's the saboteur.
Yeah, she turns out to be the saboteur.
Yeah.
That's a nice, not nice, but I like the way that when the Doctor brings her back from the teleport, she hasn't got her 2 moisturisers with her. And that's how, so she sort of makes her death is kind of her own fault.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Although the Doctor doesn't do anything to prevent it. I kind of like that. It's just a really nice, simple way of killing her off. You know what I mean? Like the Doctor doesn't do it. She kind of does it to herself. She tried to escape. He brings her back, and she dries out basically, doesn't she?
She dries out and cracks up, and
everything has its time and all that. So I like that.
Skin on toast. Yeah, and one thing that I liked as well about this story as a whole, well, it's quite clever that they're witnessing the end of the world, but yet the person that is, doing all the bad stuff is the last human.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
It's quite a good tie-in, isn't it? It's like you wouldn't expect it in, considering the circumstances, the Earth just about to be obliterated, and all this stuff is going on, and it's down to the last human
being greedy, just
pretty good.
You can so imagine that being the case, being greedy. Yeah,
it's like the Tories. All over. Right, so let's talk about Rose.
Rose.
I thought Rose was pretty good in this. I think
she's really good.
Yeah, I thought she played a good mix of being fascinated by being in space and being surrounded by aliens and stuff, a bit overwhelmed. I also liked her real upset and feeling real down that she's about to witness the end of the Earth. I really liked how she did that. It wasn't over the top. She wasn't like flailing away, like passing out and crying everywhere. I think she just played it very well, and also a little bit of she did a little bit of feistiness in there as well. So a bit of classic Rose as well. I just think it was one of those good episodes for her character where it wasn't OTT, it wasn't too much screaming and running, or it was a good mix for me.
Yeah, I'll tell you the bit I like is when she's talking to poor old Raffalo.
Yeah.
And Raffalo sort of points out, oh, so who's this guy you're travelling with then? And she makes Rose realise that actually she's just kind of on a whim jumped in, gone on this adventure, and she hasn't really thought it through. And I like that.
She's dodgy, really.
Yeah, she suddenly realises, who is this guy? I actually don't know him. What the hell am I doing jumping in the TARDIS with him? And I thought that was really nice, that she just suddenly stops and thinks about it. And that scene where she phones her mum as well, that's the nice scene, isn't it? Her and Jackie.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you just love Jackie?
Jackie.
Oh, I love Jackie. Yeah.
Quick story.
okay. Settle down, everyone. Here we go.
It's only something small.
Oh.
When I was up in Newcastle a couple of months ago with my work, I was doing some work, as I should be doing, and the pod of desks next to me, they were saying, oh, there was one of those stupid sci-fi conventions a little while ago in Newcastle. and they were really confused as to why Jackie Tyler was there.
Really?
They were really confused, yeah. And because they were saying, what's the point of her being there? She's not in costume or anything. She can't turn up in costume. And I was sitting there thinking, oh my good Lord.
You biting your lip.
I was literally, I had to bite my lip so hard because they were like, oh, we had these other people, and the pictures above them, they were like in Star Wars in costume and they had all this on. But there was just this blonde bird sitting there. Obviously, I'm doing a London accent there. This was a bunch of Geordies saying this. And, but they were saying, yeah, just this blonde bird sitting there. She didn't have to actually do anything. Why is she there?
Oh.
And I'm sitting there thinking, I need to go home.
Yeah.
I need to jump on the train and go back home and put Doctor Who on and watch a bit of Jackie. But I really like Jackie. I think she's a great character. Yeah. Camille Kadiri.
Yeah.
She's a great character. And she does go to the conventions, mate. She is out and about. I think we just have to find one where she's, that she's attending, but she does do a few.
She's the kind of person I imagine that, because I always think it would be great if me and you met her together. I just think she always comes across that she'd be a bit of a laugh. I don't know if I'm just mixing her character with Jackie, maybe. But
that's always
how
a
I
danger,
imagine
isn't
her.
it? Yeah, that's always dangerous to do that. But I think she's just so. You can't help but think that in real life she'd be a good laugh.
I'm just wondering what costume they were expecting her to wear, because Jackie kind of just short skirt and a denim jacket. What they wanted to wear, for goodness sake?
Tracksuit bottoms and I don't know, mate. It was just a bunch of heathens who weren't aware of. You had
to walk away.
Yeah, I had to walk away.
Something you regret.
Go and make a cuppa, but yeah, it was. I really like Jackie.
Yeah, and it's Jackie. A nice scene, and it just sort of kind of makes you think, because we don't really go down that route much in the classic, do we? Where they sort of think about the consequences of leaving and the people that would have, in their world, that person's gone missing, because they do tackle that, don't they? Is it Father's Day where they go back and he's like, "Oh, you haven't been missing a day, you've been missing a year or something."
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah. So it's quite nice, that little phone call between the two of them, I think. Good little scene.
And Jackie stands by her guns, doesn't she? She doesn't change her attitude to Rose travelling with the Doctor right up until the last episode.
Yeah.
Even the Tennant years, when she gets this is before she comes back. But at the end, when we have that famous scene when they say goodbye at Bad Wolf Bay, and Jack is there and stuff. Even right up to that point, Jack is very much still the same attitude about her travelling with the Doctor.
Is it because? Do you think it's because he what's the word? Rebukes her charms in Rose in the first.
Yeah,
and she's
probably.
Like, he's like, never going to happen, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
She's like, oh. So she never quite gets over it.
There's
but no, it's like the
man in my room.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. No. Possibly,
Jackie.
The knockback at the beginning is just,
She never got over it. But it's nice. It's the caring mum side, isn't it? Looking after it. Oh, yeah. It's all good.
So, no complaints from Rose in this one.
No, I just was surprised how well acted they both were, if you like. It just seemed like it just sort of slipped into the role very, very easily. I was just quite surprised how good they both were in it, considering how early on we are in this, in the show coming back, if you like. I thought they're both really good. Yeah.
Okay, and the boss, Eccleston.
Really good.
Great performance from him.
I still think he's a great Doctor. I
think
really do like him.
And I think he's grown on so many people as time's gone on.
Yeah.
I think there was a time actually where he probably wasn't revered as like, one of the better Doctors, and he was always got a bit of stick for things, and because he only did the one series and stuff like that. And it's difficult with one series because there are a couple of clangers in there. Let's not beat around the bush.
No, there are
a couple of clangers. So it's difficult. But I think as time goes on and the more that I watch Eccleston, I have such an appreciation for his Doctor, because he's, especially in stories like this where the story itself is not great, but his performance is brilliant. I mean, the story's okay. Like we said at the beginning, it's okay. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't have that something, to make it a fantastic story. But him and Billy Piper are just brilliant.
Yeah, well, I mentioned at the start, there's a couple of scenes in this that I've always really loved, that kind of make the episode for me. There's the interaction with Jade and all that, and the fans. I think it's because we get the Doctor's theme when he's stood there with the fans going around. We get it's like everything goes calm, doesn't it? And it's like, ooh, and I just love all that. But I've always really, really loved the very last scene with the Doctor and Rose when they're back on Earth. Everything's back to normal. Look, everyone's alive, but you think it'll last forever. It won't. I've always thought that end scene was just beautiful. Yeah,
they go off and get some chips.
Because it goes from being quite serious, the Doctor starts talking about his people. Then it would have been sort of like the first time my people are gone. And it goes from all of that, sort of giving you that bombshell, to, I want chips. And it's so much back down to earth, and they, we've got 5 billion years to the shop shut. I just love that last scene.
Yeah,
I think it's a brilliant little couple of minutes of television.
It's great. Yeah, and it also, it's a nice little setup for it almost puts this story behind you.
Yeah.
In a way, it almost puts all of that bad stuff that's just happened for the last 40 minutes behind you. And the Doctor and Rose, they've got big grins on their faces, off to get some chips. And then you think, right, they're okay. Bring on the next adventure.
It's kind of like, I suppose, what this story is doing in a sense. I think maybe Russell, when he's plotting out the series, he's got Rose, that episode out the way, and that's done what it needs to do. This episode, I think, maybe why it doesn't quite hit the marks as a story, but it still is a good second episode, is because Russell's getting them to know each other, isn't he, rather than just going on an adventure and as if they've been together forever. So he's setting up the relationship a bit in this, that she's questioning why she's with the Doctor. By the end of it, they've kind of got that out the way in a sense. He's told her this great burden that he's carrying around with him about being last of the Time Lords and all this, and she's like, right, okay, you've told me who you are, I get it, let's go. So again, it's quite important in that sense. So
it is.
But I just love it. The first time I watched it, really choked me up at the end scene. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's cool.
There is, I was going to say, the music sells it as well. The scene with the fan, that scene, the music from Murray, it really sells the scene.
I tell you what, mate, I'm a sucker for the old Murray soundtrack from series 1 through to 4.
Yeah, when that piano kicks in, when she's like, dun, 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 that piano kicks in, it's like, it's beautiful, Murray.
That's Rose's theme, isn't it?
Rose's theme. Yeah, I love it.
And it's especially emotional when you hear it live. When I heard that at the proms, and the air just got sucked out of the room, and there was that gasp when you goosebumps, man.
Totally.
And yeah, speaking of Rose, we did have the expected mention of Bad Wolf.
Well, I was trying to think when you said that earlier, because I've forgotten. When does she mention it?
Well, she doesn't. It's the Mox of Balhoun talks about it with the face of Bo.
Does it? See, I must have missed that.
Yeah, when everyone's sort of socialising in a big hall and everyone's having drinks and stuff, they're having a chat, and he mentions Bad Wolf. And at the time, when it went out fresh, everyone would have been like, okay, yeah. But, in hindsight, it's like, this is like, one of those little mentions, the little key story arc.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, it's good. I like how they put it in there quite subtly again.
I'll have to I didn't pick up on it. I must admit, it must have gone over my head. Probably a bit like the first time I watched it. I didn't notice it, but yeah, I'll look out for that. Because I would happily watch this episode. It's a very easy watch. It's one that I could quite easily put on and just enjoy. That's how I look at it.
It's not bad. I probably wouldn't one that I would reach for initially from series 1, but it's certainly not one that stays on the shelf forevermore.
Just going back to the music for a second.
Yeah.
Did you find yourself bopping? Because this is quite unusual for Doctor Who. We actually get not one but 2 songs, like not Murray Gold, but we get Tainted Love.
Yep.
From Soft Cell, doing with Chris doing the old neck waddle.
Yeah,
and then later on we get Toxic from Britney Spears. Now, I don't know about you, but surprisingly, I think they work quite well. And I don't know, on paper I would have said, oh dear, what? But I think they work quite well, actually.
Do you know what? It's not bad having a soundtrack, not a Murray Gold, but an actual song in Doctor Who.
But if you'd have said to me, oh, next week they're going to have Britney Spears Toxic in Doctor Who, I would have been like, oh, you're joking. In my head, it would have been terrible. But actually, it just kind of fits and works really well.
Well, it was of the time, though, as well.
Yeah,
that was when Britney Spears was a lot more popular and so on. But when they do put actual, not necessarily pop songs, but when they put songs in Doctor Who, it can work really well.
Yeah.
So, like... probably for me, the best that they've ever used a song is Vincent and the Doctor at the end.
Oh, Athlete,
yeah.
Yeah.
So when it's done, when they do put a song in Doctor Who, it can work really, really. I think this works as well because it's got a playful sort of New Year's Eve party feel about it. It's especially when you see the Doctor doing his neck bopping thing.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know. To me, it just works. I don't know why it works, and in some ways it shouldn't work, but I just like it. Yeah. Even the Toxic bit, with Rose, getting burned, because that's the bit, isn't it? Is it whether? Yeah. It's a very crazy placement of a song, but it does do the job. Yeah.
Sure.
And quite unusual for Doctor Who, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Is there anything you want to mention, buddy, before we get on to our scores?
No. I think I've got the checklist. I think we've covered it.
Cool. Right. So scores on a door. I think it's me to go first, and I will go in with a 6.
Oh, that's a bit low.
Do you think so?
Oh, well, no, that's.
I'll tell you. Well, I gave it a 6 initially. After I rewatched it this week, in my head I was thinking it was a 7. That's what I thought after I watched it. But there's just something about it that just, I don't know, just pulls me back.
I know.
There's something about the story, or maybe the script or the direction. I'm not sure. But it's just when I think while I'm watching it, and for about half an hour after I've watched it, I think, yeah, that wasn't a bad episode, really. That was pretty good. And I was hovering around a 7. But after that point, I just don't really think about the episode too much. There's a lot of forgettable things happen, but there's a couple of really good things, memorable. So, yeah, for me, it's a 6. What about you?
No, I totally get it. Totally get it. It's not the strongest episode at all. I understand where you're coming from. You just mentioned the direction. I do want to say I think it's well directed by Euros Lyn. Is that how you say it?
Euros, yep.
Yeah, Euros Lyn really nicely directed this, I think. Well, I am going to go slightly higher. I'm going to go for 7.5 because I just really like this episode. Yeah, it's not the best, but I just really like it. I always quite happily sit there and watch it. So 7.5 for me.
Okay. It seems to me that the last 10, 15 episodes, you must have enjoyed them all more than me.
Probably, yeah.
Because you seem to be scoring them a bit higher than me consistently.
Am I?
Yeah.
I'm just looking back to see what we've done.
Yeah, so last week, the Twin Dilemma, you gave it a 6.5. I gave it a 4. The Vampires of Venice, you gave 6.5. I gave it a 5. We both gave 9s for Tomb of the Sidemen at Midnight. 4 to Doomsday, I gave it a 5. You gave it a 4.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You like that one, don't you?
Mummy on the Orient Express, 8 for me, 8.5 for you. Claws of Axos, 7, 8 for you. Vincent and the Doctor, 9.5 for me, actually, 9 for you. We both gave War Machines 8. 42, we gave 7.5. Anyway, it seems like you're scoring like 1 or 2 points higher.
Above, yeah.
So maybe, I'm not sure what to gauge from that, but...
I'll tell you what I think it is, possibly, is it might be a bit of a nostalgia thing for me. Because, like Twin Dilemma, I watched when it first went out because I'm afraid I'm that old. So, yeah, it might just be that there's a little bit of nostalgia attached to some of the stories that knock it up for me, if you know what I mean. Like, for example, this one, The End of the World, like that end scene has always stuck with me from the very first time I saw it. That last couple of minutes, I don't know why, I just love it. So I still get that buzz when the episode finishes. So that kind of knocks it up a few. So it could be that, or it could just be that we got different tastes.
It could just be that you like Doctor Who more than I do.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Rightio. What did you guys think? Let's do... What should we do first? Let's do an audio clip first for a change before we do Twitter and Facebook.
Okay.
Let's do Joe Sweeney.
Hello, Gary and Adam. Hope you guys are well. Here's my thoughts on The End of the World. I thought it is quite a good episode and perfectly well written from Russell T Davies. The story and the concept of it was perfect, and CGI and the effects of it was spectacular. Christopher Eccleston was excellent as a Doctor. Rose was slightly annoying because she spent most of her time moaning and showing less gratitude towards the Doctor, so it was a little bit off-putting. Lady Cassandra was most underwhelming and annoying villain, and I'm glad she got killed off in the next series. And I must say, Slovenia is my other most hated villain of Series 1. And also the ending had a nice touch to it with the Time War arc. So I thought that was a perfectly well end to the episode. And also it had some nice aliens in it as well. Other than that, very good episode. Quite enjoyed it. So I'll give it a score of 8 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed the podcast, guys. Speak to you soon. Take care for now.
Cheers, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. He went higher with his score than I thought he was going to, actually, from what he was saying.
Yeah. Cheers, though, mate. On Twitter, we had our good friend George Garrity, who likes to give us his review over 50...
Multiple tweets.
50 tweets or so on, yeah, which is quite funny. So he says on Twitter, I'm going to have to call this one the worst of Series 1.
Oh, no.
I can feel the ranking triggering Colin B already, although it's not bad, just average. Although nothing really happens in this episode, bar spiders running around after a piece of sentient skin. Cassandra. It's quite nice to see the Doctor and Rose grow closer together. Eccleston is great as per usual, with his great witty quirks and brooding feel at the end. The aliens do seem a bit naff, but they're the first attempt at aliens for 15 plus years, so it's excusable. And there are some nice ideas for aliens in there. Overall, it gets my average 5 out of 10.
Okay.
And he goes on to say, P.S. just to clarify, by my average, I mean that 5 out of 10 is my score for an average episode, not that I average at giving it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Cheers, George.
Thanks, George.
5 out of 10. Right, cool. Over on Facebook, we had Sammy Satine. Old Sammy, she always jumps on immediately.
We should get Sammy to do the synopsis, because she always manages to sum it up really well in like the first 2 lines.
I know, she's really good at that.
Yeah.
So she goes on to say, Rose's first trip in the Tardis, and she ends up on a space station hovering above the Earth on the very day it gets roasted by the sun. Not entirely convinced it was a wise choice for her first trip out. Still, I love all the different aliens. The first appearance of the face of Bo, yay. Cassandra, on the other hand, the skin trampoline, I am less pleased to see, but I love Zoe Wanamaker. Still, she could be a bit. Still, she could be a warning for anyone considering extreme plastic surgery. I'm not sure Brittany is the wisest choice for the song you play when the Earth dies. I'm sad about Jade, the steward, the big blue alien, and Ruffalo. In the end, I feel sad no one witnessed the Earth dying. Still, I love how Rose decides she wants chips at the end. I think since Rose, all the Doctors have a soft spot for chips. She gives this 8 out of 10.
Out of 10. Thanks, Sammy.
Cheers, Sammy. More audio. I think this is the first time this person sent in audio, so thank you very much. It's Daniel Fox.
Hello there, Gary and Adam. Hope you're both well. So, The End of the World. I'm very glad you're doing this one, actually, because, funnily enough, I did watch this one last Friday. So I was very glad to hear you're going to be reviewing this one. So it's fresh in my head. Overall, I thought it was quite good. Not as good as Rose before, though, in my opinion. Because I thought Rose had a bit more action to it. I thought this one could have had a bit more action, maybe a few more jump moments, maybe. Although it did have some good ones. I love the Mox of Balhoun. I think he's very cute. One of my favourite aliens in the show. But I do have a concern because he is a bit of a chubby creature, and by the year 5 billion, you'd think that by that time they'd have good treadmills to cope with that sort of monstrosity. But anyway, I did like this story in general, so I will give it an 8 out of 10. Hope you have a good show.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Thanks for sending that. I'm laughing because he described him as a chubby creature, and now I'm concerned because Gary compares him to me. It's all becoming clear.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Shall we keep the audio clip train going?
Keep it coming.
Yeah.
Keep it coming.
This is from Who Addicts. This is Matt Rowney.
That was just a little solo from Billy. Hey there, Gary and Adam. I hope you're both well. So The End of the World, for me, I think it's a very underrated and a very enjoyable story. It doesn't stand out as being one of the all-time greats, but I think for the time it aired, it was just the perfect story. I mean, I was watching The Rings of Akhaten the other night, and it just reminded me so much of The End of the World. I mean, the similarities are quite baffling. I think The Rings of Akhaten is, yeah, they're both the second episode of that respective companion's tenure. They used both episodes to showcase what Doctor Who could do at that time by having a random array of different monsters. And the same goes for the end of the World. I think with it being the second episode of the modern series, the first adventure that we'd truly gone on in the Tardis, it really did show what modern Doctor Who could do. It was a real advert in a way, you know. It was a taster of what was coming up in this brand new era of Doctor Who, with brand new prosthetics that they were showing off with different monsters, and of course the CGI as well was used a lot with the world, you know, getting blown up and stuff. So I think it was the perfect episode for that time. You know, it was easing brand new viewers into a new generation, and I thought it did that incredibly well. Of course, comparing it to other episodes, Cassandra is a mediocre villain and one that I don't like to go and rewatch. She is annoying, and, you know, the robot spiders aren't menacing in any way whatsoever. So the narrative itself is maybe a little bit weak, but the context of the episode, I think, is just fantastic. And there are some really good moments between the Ninth Doctor and Rose, because of course, it is her first trip in space, so we're kind of taking that journey with her. So yeah, some great scenes, especially at the end when the Earth does blow up and Rose kind of feels bad, and at the end when she gets back on Earth, she can't believe that she's stood on the same planet that she's just seen die. So it's a really nice, light-hearted, feel-good story. Of course, it's not the best narratively, but I think for the time it aired, I think it was a really very enjoyable one. So I'm going to be generous and give it a 7 out of 10. So take care, keep up the fantastic work, and I'll see you guys next time.
7 from Matt.
Cheers, Matt. And Billy is Matt's parrot. I love hearing him chipping in the background.
It's nice we got a little solo as well.
Yeah, that's brilliant. He's quite a talented parrot, that Billy. Interesting comparison to the Rings of Akaten there, isn't it? Or Akaten, or...
Yeah, the Rings of Akaten.
We'll have to do that one, won't we?
We will definitely
someday.
Have to. One day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We will do that one episode, yeah.
Cheers, Matt. Back on Facebook, Lewis Palmer says, pretty good story. Nothing special but enjoyable. Gives us some more info about the Time War, which is nice. The aliens are very creative, and the scene where we are introduced to them reminds me of the cantina scene from Star Wars, just for the fact that there are loads of weird and wonderful aliens everywhere. CGI hasn't aged well, though it's still better than what we get sometimes today.
Yeah.
I also really like the ending. Overall, enjoyable story. Not amazing, but a fun way to spend 45 minutes. 7.5.
Hey.
More audio. Let's keep it going. Alex Kingdom.
Hello, Gary from the Blue Box Podcast. The End of the World. I honestly think this one is kind of... Ugh. As I said in my YouTube review, I think it had the right intentions, but the payoff was kind of lackluster. Honestly, I don't know what happened. It had the right... The groundwork was there for me. It was fine, it was good. But after that, you know, after you dig into it a bit more, it's bad. I mean, it's just not that fun. Seeing the new aliens and different races, like the Mox Balhoon, Face of Bow, Tree People, Avatar... I don't know why I called them avatars. And then I like the plot with the where it's placed in time at the end of the world. I mean, Eccleston's fine, but Cassandra the villain lets it down as well. So honestly, I kind of not really a big fan of this one. How I would describe my viewing of it is with Formula 1 cars. If it's dry, they normally have grip, and if it's raining, they normally get a bit slick. And basically I struggle for grip when watching this one. I always slip around a bit and I can't really focus on it. There's not enough to keep me going. So I'm going to have to give it a 5 out of 10. To be fair, all Russell T Davies had to do to fix it was put in some rice pudding or Jago and Lightfoot. But no, we got the trampoline made out of skin. See you guys next week.
Not a positive one from Alex this week.
Not enough grip. And unfortunately, Alex, we can't solve every Doctor Who problem by putting Jago and Lightfoot in there. As much, you know, however cool that might be. It would be cool.
We just can't do that. Yeah. But thank you very much for your comment. It's really cool. Master, back on Facebook, Master Whovians says, this is my favourite episode ever.
Really?
I love it. As a kid, it showed me the wonders of Doctor Who, and without it, I doubt I would have become so obsessed with the show. It took the show to new territories with great aliens, a great story, and a nice introduction to new viewers of the science fiction format. I also remember trying to hunt down a Mox of Balhoun figure, which took ages to find. Keep up the good work with the podcast, guys, and be sure to check out our channel for new uploads every Friday. Yeah, so Master Whovians have got a pretty good YouTube channel. They do their own reviews and all that stuff, so check them out. But yes, I quite like that comment that this was the one episode that really sort of brought you into the show and sort of guided you around, you know, the new worlds of Doctor Who and new aliens and so on. So that's very good.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because, I mean, that's what we were saying at the beginning. That's kind of what you'd think Russell would be trying to do with the second episode, and we weren't too sure whether it quite did that. So, yeah, it's good to hear that it did.
Good times.
To some viewers, yeah.
Yes. Lastly on Facebook, Danny Brown says, entertaining episode, although the CGI now looks dated and stories... Although CGI now looks dated, the story still stands up well. Good performances from all the cast make the story for me a 7 out of 10.
I agree. Pretty decent.
Nice one, Danny. Last audio clip, this is Jay Kent.
It's the end of the world as we know it. Hey, Gary and Adam, hope you're doing fantastic. Now, I adore End of the World. This is the first big budget episode Doctor Who dipped its feet into since its revival, and it shows off just amazingly. The range of aliens and the CGI effects are brilliant, and I still have to distinguish what's real and what's digital today. We're introduced to many individuals and concepts here, such as the slightly psychic paper, the face of Bowerman, and Lady Cassandra, who has the best acting I've seen from a flap of skin. But I can't believe she tried to frame all them people because she's on a frame. Never mind. This episode is simple but effective, with both funny and tense moments, including the death of Tree Woman, whose design, like the rest of them, was beautiful. But it did get Tainted Love and Toxic stuck in my head for 2 weeks, so I don't know how to feel about that. But still, I'll give this episode a 5 billion out of 10. Actually, no, let's be realistic. A strong 9 out of 10. Hope you have a good rest of the show, because this podcast is hot. Even hotter once the sun expands.
I love Jay's. There's just always a little nugget of something in there that makes me laugh with Jay's comments. So thank you very much, Jay. Awesome.
I love how Jay's brain works. I just want to pop it into a jar underneath a frame.
Yeah. Not sure how you feel about that, Jay.
Just think of Morbius.
Morbius.
Think of no, brilliant.
Simply won't do. Thank you very much, Jay. Anything on the Geeks Handbag page?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, just had one from Dean Jones. And Dean says, a decent second story with great imagination in the creature designs, and gives us a hint as to what the show can do with the time travel concept for the new series. It's not perfect, some of the characters aren't well realised enough, and some of the dialogue isn't the strongest, and Cassandra is an okay but not great villain. Dean's giving it 7 out of 10.
7. Seems to be the average score for this one.
Yeah,
around
it's good, because I wasn't sure whether this one really connected with people. You know, I think it often gets kind of forgotten about. So quite glad that it's there's a few people out there that like it.
Yeah. Good times.
Good times.
Next week.
Next week we really are doing a classic.
It is deemed one of... It's in high esteem, isn't it, this one?
It's definitely in high esteem, this one.
What is it, Muddy?
Bizarrely, I thought we'd already done this, probably because we've chatted about it, I don't know. But fourth Doctor story next week, The Robots of Death.
Yes.
Please do not throw hands at me.
And this one would have influenced, in my opinion anyway, this show directly influenced the look and feel for the Titanic episode, one of the specials that Kylie Minogue was in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some strong links to newer Who. A lot of inspiration drawn from this one.
Yes, and it's Baker. When did we last do a Tom Baker?
Oh, when did we do Baker last?
Trying to think what it would have been. Let's have a look at the list.
It was The Brain of Morbius.
Oh, was it? Oh, really?
Yeah.
The J of Morbius. The Brain of J. Oh, no. I've gone wrong. Yeah, brilliant. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that scarf-wearing Doctor back on my screen.
Yes, it never gets old, going back and visiting the fourth Doctor stuff. So, yeah, I think we're going to wrap there, buddy.
Okay.
That is episode 88, done and done.
In the can.
In the can. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and thank you once again for sending in your audio clips and all of your thoughts and comments. All good stuff. We love that about you guys.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a show without you. And I mean that. I mean that sincerely. We wouldn't have a decent show if it wasn't for our decent listeners.
No. Oh, well, it's always good to interact with and find out your views. Yeah.
Yes.
Love it.
Welcome aboard the Tardis. Pearl, we can't wait to see... Well, we can't wait to see what's written for you. But very much welcome you on board into the world of Doctor Who. It's one of those things as well, as an actor, you probably got that brief right away to say you're probably going to be talking about Doctor Who for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know? So good luck on the convention circuit. And yeah, good luck just talking about Doctor Who now. This will be the one role that will come back and you'll be asked about and spoken about forevermore, which is all good. I wouldn't mind that, actually.
No, what do they call it? They say your pension sorted if you get a role in Doctor Who. Your
exactly,
pension,
yeah.
Never have to worry about it.
Of course, yep. Next week, can't wait to talk about the fourth Doctor story, The Robots of Death. That's going to be a good one.
Yep.
And we look forward to hearing your thoughts on that as well. So look out for the usual Facebook post and Twitter and so on. Head over to our website, www.bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk. You can listen to all the previous episodes there. Plus, you can link off to Facebook and Twitter and give us a like and a follow. For those who listen to us and subscribe on iTunes, if you could leave us a rating and a review. We had a handful recently over the last couple of weeks. You guys have said some very kind things, so thank you so much. So if you are an iTunes listener, give us a review. That would be awesome and helps us out a lot. Remember to check out Adam's channel, The Geek's Handbag. You can find him on YouTube and Facebook. So many good videos. Go and check out Adam's stuff. Anything coming soon that's good?
Next one's probably that silver screen one.
Oh man, well come on. You've been teasing this for over a year.
I know. 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, I only just got to finish off the X-Files unboxing. Did you like that?
That was very good.
Did you like the X-Files, don't you?
Yes.
They actually do look like... They're quite decent figures.
They do. Yeah.
They do look like the person, which is always good. I just need to film an intro and an outro, but otherwise it's all filmed. But I don't know when. I don't know. This new job, mate. It's just it's taking its toll on the channel.
Course,
but it'll get there, and it'll hopefully be worth the wait.
Cool.
Yeah.
So check out Adam's channel. Until next week, though. My name's Gary.
My name's Adam.
And remember.